I pushed my boyfriend into a deep religion from neglect. I'll try to not let this post get too long, but I feel so confused and unsure how to feel right now. I'm sorry if this comes out as a mess. I'm typing through tears. My partner, 26M, and I, 27M, have been together for close to 5 years and we had a very healthy and intimate relationship. But all of that changed this year. This year hasn't been kind to me. I was left unemployed, my grandfather passed away and my mother began to develop serious health problems. With all of that happening, I was constantly in a state of stress. I became severely depressed and miserable, turning cold to my partner. He was becoming depressed as well. He has self-esteem issues that I have done my best to try and help him with, but he has refused therapy and it's a constant battle to keep his spirits high. I love him from the high heavens above, but then the heavens came to crap on me. I learned today that my partner got in contact with an old friend of his who recently found God and they had been talking while I was busy with my mother or job searching. My partner today asked if I considered myself Christian out of blue, which prompted a conversation about where that came from. It turns out that his old friend convinced him that if he never disobeyed the 7 deadly sins, listened only to the Bible and obeyed it to the full, that he would be happy. And my partner is saying he really is happy now. But then he said that he has given up any form of intimacy between us as homosexuality is prohibited by the Bible. Not loving each other but performing in intimate acts. I'll admit, I did not handle it well. I felt betrayed. I have a bad history with extreme Christians, and asked if he was ashamed of the time we spent together and our sex life. He said no, but that now he has to change and redeem himself. When I asked why, he just got very quiet and said, "Please don't make this harder. I want to stay with you but I need to obey my faith." He wants us to stay together, for both of us to become Christians and remaining loving and support each other but have no intimacy. He tells me that he wants to support me and make my life better, but I saw a future with him, and now I just see this awkward in between. I told him that I hoped this was all a bad dream and that him doing this was literally my worst nightmare come to life. He called me selfish for not being happy for him finding a path in life that made him happy, and said he did this because he was constantly sad about being alone. He felt lonely and now feels like this gives him a purpose in life. I just don't know what to do. It's like the person I knew for years has suddenly been replaced by this alien I don't even recognize. I feel humiliated, as if the last 5 years meant nothing and my stress levels have only risen with this. It honestly sounds like he has joined a cult of some sort. I don't know what to do. TL, doctor, was neglectful of BF due to stress, now BF speaks as if he's in a cult. Isn't he being selfish by asking you to be the one who compromises? He makes a unilateral decision to no longer be intimate. He gets to insensitively ignore your baggage and pressure you to convert to Christianity. You deserve a relationship where you feel psychologically safe, where you have a partner you can lean on and trust, where you are allowed to be yourself without judgment or censure. If your boyfriend is willing to talk through your conflicts in therapy, might be helpful to find someone, not religious please, to mediate. This might be the end of your 5-year relationship. Don't think of it as a sunk cost, think of it as saving the next 50 years of your life from this uncomfortable, pressuring situation that your boyfriend is putting you in. You didn't push him to become religious. That was his choice, as he has free will. If he insists you join him in a religion you aren't interested in, and won't be intimate with you because of his newfound faith, then you have to decide if that will be enough of a relationship for you. You are free to walk away, as he's drastically changed the terms of your relationship and is making demands on you he has no right to make. First, stop blaming yourself. Your partner frankly has some major self-esteem and depression issues and chose to expose himself to this instead of pursuing a mentally healthy option of therapy. I would agree that he sounds like he got taken in by a cult. Second, it is extremely rare for people with deep religious beliefs to have tolerance or respect for other people's beliefs. I've met a few Catholic priests and maybe 2 laypersons that were both religious as can be, but respected other people's rights to believe what they want to. Then there's everyone else who have no tolerance and no respect and attack you and your beliefs while demand you convert. You can try pushing your partner into individual therapy and couples therapy and try to limit his ability to connect with the religious nuts that have brainwashed him. But if that doesn't work, you're going to have to leave him. Edit, if this is a cult that he got involved in, they will try to convince him to move in with them and eventually hand over money and valuables. Think you should move to cut off his access to any joint financial accounts you have. It turns out that his old friend convinced him that if he never disobeyed the 7 deadly sins, listened only to the Bible and obeyed it to the full, that he would be happy. The entire book of Job would disagree. You did not force a conversion on this person, that's something they chose. And sweetie, don't let this dude drag you back into his religious shame closet. You didn't push him into this. Plenty of relationships undergo periods of stress like this. What you're dealing with isn't even remotely outside the norm, especially this year. Deciding that perfectly predictable stressors on your relationship, unemployment, family illness, made your boyfriend turn to religion is simply not a reasonable conclusion. It's far more likely that your partner had some deep, unresolved angst over his sexuality. Angst that was always going to rear its head again and force him to deal with it one way or another. He chose to deal with it by denying it and claiming it's out of his hands. If God demands that he not be gay, well then, he can't be held responsible for withdrawing from the relationship. There's a cold sort of comfort in that for people who aren't comfortable with owning who they are or what they want to do. It may not bring happiness, but it brings safety, and certainty, and the comfort of something bigger than you being in charge. And there's little you can do about it. You can ask him to see a LGBTQ-friendly counselor, you can try to reason with him, you can issue ultimatums, but ultimately he has to want to choose a different path than the one he's on. And you have no control over that. I'm sorry. My F46 sons, 21, girlfriend, 20, got me something I know she can't afford and I worry about her. My son and his girlfriend have been dating for over 2 years now. They go to the same college. She moved in with him in the midst of quarantine but eventually went home. Her parents are horrible and practically kicked her out in the middle of the night. My son had to pull some strings to even get her a flight. For her birthday, I bought her a necklace. It was before quarantine, so I bought it overseas. It made me think of her. I care for her and I want it too. It was pricey but I can afford it. I remember her face when I gave it to her. She looked terrified, like I pulled a gun on her. She kept looking at it, then at me. She stuttered so much before thanking me. Throughout our stay, I noticed her watching me several times. My son told me later that she is scared of me. After prying, I learned how bad her family actually is. For my birthday, she got me an expensive necklace. I know the brand and there's no way she could afford it. She looked at me so scared and just asked if I liked it. Told her I did. She keeps watching me. Now, I worry about where she got the money. Her classes are all remote this semester. She can't decide whether she wants to be with my son or her family. She loves her younger siblings and has all but raised them. Then, her parents kick her out or threaten her. I worry so much about her at home. If she has money to take care of herself and her little siblings, I feel like she got me the necklace to pay me back, but she did not need to. I feel so guilty. Would I be a horrible person if I gave her some money, no questions asked? Or if I got her and her siblings expensive gifts she could sell or gift cards? I don't know if she would. She is not the type to ask for help. Remember my son on the phone for hours trying to find a hotel for her to stay at in the midst of quarantine after what her parents did. I want to make her a bank account or trust fund. I don't know how to do it. I also don't want to embarrass or cause her to fear me. My son says she looks up to me and wants to make me happy. Feel so guilty. I never should have gotten her that necklace when she has trouble feeding and clothing herself and the little ones. Too long didn't read. I got my son's girlfriend an expensive necklace. She got me a similar one, but I worry about how she can afford it and take of herself and little siblings. I also came from an abusive home, and I have always had difficulty with receiving gifts, especially expensive ones. In my home growing up, gifts weren't given without strings attached. Anytime I did something considered wrong, I was reminded of the gifts I'd received or things that were done for me in years past and called ungrateful, or worse. It's possible her situation is similar. My upbringing caused me to feel like I'm constantly on one side of a scale with each person and I always need to keep it level. When you've been raised that way, it can be hard to get out of that bubble and realize not everyone you meet has those expectations. I had the same issue when my in-laws started including me in holiday gift giving before I married my husband, or when they first asked to celebrate my birthday with me. My best advice would be to sit down with her and have a conversation. Maybe take her for coffee and spend some one-on-one time. When you feel comfortable, and when she seems more comfortable with you, explain that you gave her your gift to show that you care about her and that nothing was expected in return. If she seems receptive, then bring up that while you like and appreciate her gift, you don't want her to feel that she owed it to you. Go from there. It took me a while before I was comfortable opening up completely around my in-laws. Now, I'm closer to them than most of my own family. Your care for her will do her lots of good. She's feeling an obligation to keep up and be even, so that you like her or don't think she's a gold digger. She likes you and is seeking your approval, in a cute childish way. It's up to you as the adult to cut the awkwardness with the knife of wholesomeness. Talk with her directly, and let her know that you love the necklace, but you know it must have been expensive. Don't say this as criticism. She tried to do a nice thing for you. Show her you appreciate it a lot. What makes you most happy as a mother is to see them both happy together. Avoid the one-sided wording where it's only about her making him happy. Show her acceptance by wanting her happiness as well. They are still young and should focus on saving for their future instead. I think you should talk to her, maybe even write to her. My guess is that she doesn't know what to expect from you. So, in my family, there is no such thing as generosity. If a gift seems generous, then there are always strings attached. She told your son that she's afraid because she doesn't know what you want from her in return. So she felt obligated to reciprocate the gift evenly because she doesn't have any experience with generosity. My mother-in-law is a truly generous woman, and the first Christmas I did with her was incredibly confusing. She gave me so many gifts, and of course I had brought her something. Her son helped me pick it out. But it was one gift, and she'd bought me a house full. And because my family does gifting with strings, it was very uncomfortable. So, my advice is to be very frank with her if you want to buy her any gifts or give her any money. Tell her the real reasons you want to do this for her and ask her if she's comfortable before you give her anything. Edited to add thank you for the silver kind friend. I'd first talk about this and your concerns with your son. It sounds as if she may feel the need to keep even with you, so giving her money and buying more gifts could cause more harm than good. See if your son thinks sitting down with her to reassure her that your gifts are given without strings or any need to reciprocate equally is a good idea. Some people respond to overt kindness while others are more comfortable when given space to approach on their own. My mother-in-law noticed that I was kind of freaking out whenever she was really generous with me, and she gave me a nice little speech that made me feel better. She said something kind of like, one of the nicest things about being my age is being able to spend more money on whatever you want. I like to be able to give you and my kids nice things, and I have no expectations that you get me anything. It's something I do for you because I love you. It was really sweet and helped calm me down a little. I, F22, am not sexually attracted to my boyfriend, M23, of 4.5 years due to his weight gain. I feel like a shallow, horrible person for even saying this, but I, F22, don't find my boyfriend, M23, of 4.5 years sexually attractive anymore due to his weight gain. A year into our relationship he gained a lot of weight due to depression and I kind of just ignored it. He would lose weight for a while and I'd be attracted again and then gain it back. He has been borderline obese for the past 2 years. I've been waiting and hoping for him to lose weight again. He used to be extremely fit. He brought up his weight gain, wanting to know if I feel disgusted by it, as he himself would find it digesting. I said I'm neutral towards it because I didn't want to be mean. Ever since then I've made the link that I don't desire sex with him because I don't find his weight attractive at all. He has to initiate it or I'll initiate it because I feel bad. We have sex once a week or once every week and a half. Whilst the sex itself feels good, I just don't desire to have sex with him. During it's great, but prior I don't ever desire it. I love him with everything. He is my best friend. I still get extremely excited to see him, butterflies, and still act like a teenager in love. Our personalities also work amazing together. I love cuddling him, holding hands and being affectionate with him that I wouldn't do with anyone else. Just don't find him sexually attractive. Everything else in the relationship is great. Losing him would be devastating. Not really sure what to do. I'm 90% this is due to his weight gain. I don't want to end things, but I've been waiting 2 years for him to lose weight. It also seems so unfair to him to keep him in a relationship where I'm not actively wanting to have sex. How important is sexual attraction? Are you supposed to strongly desire sex with your partner? Too long didn't read. F22, am not sexually attracted to my boyfriend, M23, of 4.5 years due to his weight gain. I'm not sure what to do as everything else in the relationship is perfect.